Hello everyone, and welcome to a new playthrough of Invisible Inc. on this channel. If you have not watched any Invisible Inc., you don't know anything about this game, then, I'll try to explain things as we go a bit, but I do have quite a few previous Invisible Inc. videos on this channel. You can go back and watch those if you like. I have a bit of a prologue, I suppose, to folks who have watched those videos, because the last series, I think the last Invisible Ink video was almost a year ago. It was a long, Endless Plus game, and there is, as of the time of this recording, it's not actually finished. I just kind of got tired of playing that save, and every time I want to go back to it, I'm like, geez, do I want to risk this save that's been going for 4 months or whatever? And it's just kind of stressful to go back. I still love Invisible Ink. I play it some off camera, but I haven't been recording, so I didn't want to get back to that save. And today I decided, you know what? Let's just start a new save for the channel. Maybe I'll get back to that one someday, who knows. But another decision that I've made is to not play Endless Plus. I realized that I've played a number of times, and I've never... The beginning of the game is generally pretty hard. I have some trouble with it anyway. But I've never died after the part where Endless normally would end. Where the non-Endless mode would end. And if I continued playing long enough, I'm sure that eventually I would, but it just sort of gets to be quite a slog. And you have enough tools that for at least quite a long time, I never really felt like I was in danger of losing even an agent, let alone the team. And I don't really want to commit something that's that outrageously long. So I thought it would be nice to just play on Expert Plus, where there's a well-defined end state that I can aim for. So, with that, let's get started. Yeah, I'm not super excited about the escape. Yeah, not very excited about that. So, anyway, I said I would briefly explain what Invisible Ink is. It's sort of a stealth-based team roguelike thing where you're sneaking around facilities, controlling between 2 and 4 characters, trying to steal money and upgrade stuff. So okay, great. So since I am playing campaign options, no, begin, no. Where the heck is randomize? Here it is. So I decided that I've been playing a lot with Archive, Prism, and Central, and Faust and Brimstone, not necessarily because it's this amazing combo or anything, but it does all synergize pretty well. I started doing it to get the achievement for win the game with Faust and Brimstone, which I did, but I was offline, and so Steam didn't record it, and I still don't have it. Very upsetting. Not terribly. Who cares, right? I know that I got it, and it's sort of nice having an endless supply of power. But I want to try to be a little bit more flexible in how I play. Not rely so much on Archive Prism all the time. So what I decided to do is play this playthrough with random everything, but allowing myself, and I'm saying this before I hit the button, allowing myself to reroll if I get something, not something that I think is bad, but 2 things that work together extremely poorly. I don't love Dynamo, but if I get Dynamo, sure, I'll play with it. But if I get Dynamo and Parasite, those 2 programs don't. Well, actually, maybe they're fine. I don't know. I can't think what they are now, but 2 things that are designed to have opposite purposes, I will leave alone. And also, gosh, if I get Brimstone, am I going to keep it? I don't know. I guess. It's bad, but it's not an anti-synergy with anything. I wish I could keep Archive Prism in the randomize. Oh, that's the other thing. I think I'll allow myself to choose whether I go Archive or on file after randomizing. Okay, so we get Olivia. What's her deal? Wait, we got... Okay, so I hit randomize, and these didn't change at all. I'm not sure if that is because we actually rolled the same thing. So I'm going to remember we got Olivia International, Faust and Brimstone, and I'm going to re-roll again. And if these programs change, I'll come back to what was here, because that means it actually did happen to re-roll that again. Wow, it really did. Amazing. All right, well, Faust and Brimstone it is. And we had Olivia and International. Where is Olivia? She's over here somewhere? Yeah. Okay, so Olivia, I think, is... Yeah, Central is Olivia Gladstone, and Olivia is the older one, right? Okay. So we have Olivia, who comes with this little noisemaker, which is kind of like, it's good, but the problem with it is that you have to pick it back up. And so, like, if you get a guard to investigate a noise, I don't know, and they're gonna go pick it up, and you have to knock them out. So I don't know. I don't know how to use Crybaby. I've used it a few times, and it always goes poorly. And International, of course, a classic, quite strong, with her wireless everything ability. What's Olivia's thing? Gains power equal to KO damage. Okay. So I guess she maybe is supposed to attract guards and then beat the hell out of them. God. Olivia, Faust, and Brimstone. Is that bad enough? Like, I have all this stuff to generate a ton of power and nothing to use power. I don't know. I don't like this team. I'm going to reroll it. So there. That's interesting. These two are like the base ones, right? I don't know. This team seems fine. So what's Archive Dr. Zhu all about? Huh. Comes with an EMP. I like On File, though. Alright, well, this is maybe a little bit less random, but I think it's a more reasonable team. We don't have International, but Dr. Zhu is great. Decker's pretty strong. These two, pretty standard. And Olivia, I think, went very badly with Faust. We were just going to be...
Headquarters is gone. Most of our
that's right.
have been captured or
No,
killed,
let's listen to
and our
Olivia,
accounts
I
all
guess.
frozen.
Or Central.
I don't know how the corporations found us, but you can bet they won't give up now that they've had a taste of blood. The Jet's stealth rig should keep us hidden if we keep moving, but Incognita can't survive long on backup power. She's got 72 hours tops. We need to mount a counterattack before then, or we'll be defenseless against their scans. If that happens,
Jeez, she
we may
talks
as well
forever.
just crash this thing into the ocean. You've never seen the inside of a corporate deprogramming chamber. I won't see the inside of another. Incognita is scanning for targets of opportunity where we can replenish our supplies. Follow her leads and gather what resources you can. I'll run through our contacts and see what favors I can call in. We're going to need all of the advantages we can find in the coming days.
Okay, we did it. And we're started. Oh, I never realized... Oh, you get 500 credits, but you can't spend them on upgrading yet. Okay, fine. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was a little bit...
Are notoriously slack when it comes to network security, and their terminals are full of interesting...
Maybe I was deluding myself by saying I would just take a random team and then re-rolling when I got those, but it just seemed like especially blech. These two seem fun. And strong enough. I don't like Olivia very much. Or Faust and Brimstone. They're good with Central, but on their own they're quite poor. Like, having to deal with demons all the time, like, you can do it, but...
They caught us completely by surprise, so we have no firepower with us. The guards' weapons are gene-coded to their owner, and useless to us. We're going to have to make do with what we can find along the way. We've beamed you through the security grid. You should be somewhere near the target, but you'll need to look for it. Get the list and find a transport pad to escape. But be quick about it. They noticed a disturbance when we ported in, and their alarm level is already rising.
Okay. Yeah, so... Okay, get the stuff. So, anyway, like I said, maybe should have kept those guys, but I didn't want to. I think I would have lost that game pretty early. I can deal with demons, but not having to makes things a lot simpler, and it's an okay combo if you have Central, as I was saying, but when you don't, it's, I think, just pretty bad. Reversing demons just isn't worth the hassle. Okay, so here we are. Time to start exploring the facility. Brief intro for everyone who hasn't played. Every turn, you get to move your agents around. They have movement points. Red doors are locked. You can switch to like hacking mode and spend your power, which is up here, to hack devices. That's a key mechanic in the game. This thing gives us power every turn. This lets us spend power. And the main difficulty is like getting around guards. Let's see. I haven't played with Dr. Zhu in a while. he's got less movement points than any other agent because he has a fairly strong special ability. Decker has a really terrible special ability, but he starts with a quite good item. So, he's a fine starting agent. I'm just trying to... Red doors are locked, green doors are open. I'm trying to decide which agent to send here to look through the door. I'm a little worried about sending Dr. Shu. Oh wow, he starts at level 1 in everything, too. Jeez. I thought he would start at level 2 hacking or something. I'm a little worried about sending Dr. Shu because he can't really get to safety after looking. He has a shock trap, okay. So I think I should, in fact, send Decker and just have Dr. Shu come down here to grab this console. So this is you can pick up a little bit of extra power from these once per mission. Now, let's see what's going on here. I guess I'll peek first. There is a guard. Okay, and the camera. What's this guard up to? He's not coming into our room. That's nice. Yeah, he's gonna leave. Okay, so 2 cameras, which we sort of have to take if we want... Oh man, we don't even have anyone with Anarchy, so we can't steal from guards this mission. That's gonna be a little rough. That's gonna probably be my first priority, is to upgrade an agent to have Anarchy. It's just a ton of extra money income if you can manage to steal from guards. And also you can get access to the key cards that they're carrying that let you into these rooms without having to knock them out. So alternatively, I could use Decker's cloak to get him into this room, but he couldn't get out this turn anyway, so there's no real advantage. What about this EMP? Oh, he doesn't have an EMP. That was archived, Tony. All right. He has a shock trap, but we don't really want to use that. Let's go ahead and peek here to see what we're going to be running into next. Server terminal. Okay. I guess we can make a little bit more progress by coming in here. And I could have Tony come over here and like try to peek through this door, but I think it's more important to get him started on making it into the rest of the facility. Alright, that should do. Okay, so here's a reminder to us about the security level. This is sort of like the doom clock that goes up every turn. It also goes up like when guards notice you or when you attack guards or whatever. And every five turns, this fills up, and some new bad thing starts to happen. Okay, I'm like, oh, I can steal from him, but no, I'm not allowed to. I don't have Anarchy. All right. What's back here? Nothing much. Yeah, this is basically the only safe place to hide. I forgot to hack this console on the way, but fortunately, Dr. Shu can get that this turn. Nip out here, grab the console, and head back. And we'll tuck Decker in here. Peek so we have a good view of what happens in this room next turn. This is a very long hallway. We could hack through this, but there's no rush. We can do it next turn. It may look a little dangerous to leave Dr. Shu here, although I think we did something similar with Decker last turn and I didn't mention it. The guards have a 45-degree, you can see it here, 45-degree vision cone like this. And they can't notice you if you're, like, if there's an obstacle between you and them. So here, we can imagine the agent is actually pressed up against this back wall, as well as being pressed up against this. It doesn't exactly make sense, but he won't be seen because he'll be hidden behind this wall. And if the agent, if the guard were to turn right, yes, he would see him, but he's not going to. He's going to walk up here and never actually get a glimpse of Tony. So, end of turn. All right, there's another guard down there. And at least for most of the game, guards have predictable 2-turn-long patrol paths. They go from A to B and then from B to A. So we know that next turn, this guard here will end standing in one of these 2 squares. Maybe even here? I forget. I think it was here, right? You can also count it out. They have 8 movement points. So this would be 1.5, 2.5, 3, 4, 5.5, 7, 8. So he must end here. This is 8 moves away. What exactly are we going to do with that information? Well, we could try to get as far as we can on this turn, or we could knock him out with a weapon or something. Let's see, the shock trap has a slightly higher KO time, 3 turns instead of 2, but a much longer cooldown before we can use it again. If we were going to knock him out, I think I would choose the hand weapon. And in fact, a plan that seems somewhat reasonable is to tuck our agents here and here, and then knock this guy out, like, next turn. That'll keep him down for a fair while. We could also not knock him out next turn, and just basically pass a turn while we run out here. I think that's actually a good idea. I don't know. I kind of want to knock him out for the money and for possibly the keycard. It'll increase the alarm level, and it means we'll have an awake guard chasing us later. Which is definitely bad. Like, if I had Anarchy, I would never knock this guy out, but I do. Sorry, that is to say I don't have Anarchy, so I might knock him out. Yeah, let's just knock this guy out. And then let Tony sort of keep him pinned a bit. No, we'll come out here and then we'll get him. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so he ends here, which means that if we tuck Tony away right here and leave him on ambush to attack in melee anyone who walks next to him, we'll have this guy knocked out so that Decker is free to explore on the next turn. But we can't leave Decker in the open here, because then this guard would spot Decker and not get zapped by Tony. So we're going to tuck Decker in here after I've observed where this guard goes. Okay, he goes back there. Fine. We probably knew that. I think that was the guard we saw walk by earlier, but now we have it written down on the screen. We could hack this. Maybe we should, actually. I don't have anything else to spend the power on right now, and there could be something good to buy. So what do we got? Burst and Emergency Reserve. So I don't like either of these. But early in the game, Emergency Reserve could be a good way to keep our power doing okay. I think, though, we probably don't need it. Right? It's like 5 power every 3 turns, which is pretty good. If you can arrange to be spending all your power, it's 5 every 3 turns, which is quite good. It's like better than Power Drip, which is 1 every 1 turn. But I think with Tony as our safecracker, we shouldn't need to spend much power, and so I can save the 300 credits for upgrading agents instead. So I'm going to not buy that. Good work, Tony. It always lags with that animation is going. So if you're paying attention, the alarm level went up by 2 that turn instead of 1. Alright, Tony, what did we get? We got a pass card and 90 credits. Alright. So this card is going to wake up in 2 turns. It says KO 2. But any turn that we leave an agent on top of him, he's pinned, and so he doesn't get to recover any during that turn. Okay, just checking, there might have been a camera back here. Where did this guy go again? He was like here-ish? I think I'm going to put Decker here, peek through this door, and then duck behind this cover. Because I don't remember exactly how this guy turns, but he certainly wouldn't see anyone in this cover. Yeah, that's fine. That's interesting. I could open the door, but I wouldn't be able to... I don't have an action point to spare on peeking again, so I'm just going to duck back here. So the question now is, what do we do with the doctor here? He's got a security card, so he can sort of like try to get into this side of the map, which would be useful. But we also sort of risk this... The other alternative is to use him on keeping this guard pinned. I don't think we can afford to do that, actually. He's pretty good at safecracking, and spending him just on pinning one guard is not really that great an idea. Plus, he's got the security pass card. So what I'm going to do is bring him up here. 6.5 from here. 5.5, 4, 3, 1.5 here. So he can get 2 here if he sprints. I think that should be fine. If he really has to, he can shock trap the door, but I don't think anyone will overhear him sprinting. So we'll just we'll just get the extra movement points for free. Free, assuming no one hears him. Yeah, and they didn't. So next turn he can get started. Decker will have to get out of this area pretty quick because this guard is here. In 2 turns he'll wake up and investigate this square, the one we knocked him out on. But we won't have to be in line of sight of that, so that's fine. Okay, yeah, he goes... Yeah, I was right, he does go down to that console. So the alarm level went all the way up 5 times, and so now they're actually at level 1, and there are some additional cameras being turned on here and here. But cameras have a sight radius of like 7 or 8. They shouldn't be able to see Decker from here. Right, this is at least 9 tiles away. A bit more, really. Let's have Tony go first, since we know there were no guards in here, or they would have heard him. I will peek, though, in case there are cameras in either of these corners. Nope. Well, this was not a very useful shortcut at all. These beams advance the alarm tracker. Okay. So we know this guy comes in here and he has 8 moves, right? So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, I guess. It's pretty much the only thing he can do that takes up exactly 8 moves. So that must be where he ends. Is there anything useful I can do with that information? Not really. So I guess what I'll do is have Decker come down here to grab this console and this door. Ah, this is the executive terminal. Very good. I'll have 1 move to spare after moving in here, so I'll use that move now to peek. Yes.
Terminal. I bet they're writing gripping
Ooh.
TPS reports on that.
I'm a little bit afraid of this door. There could be a guard who patrols into this room. So what I'm going to do is not go in there, but instead stay here. I don't really know what to do about Tony. I guess the thing to do, he has 7 moves, get him here, and then next turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. He should be out of the view of this guard. Should be able to sneak in behind him and get in here. Alternatively, we could just bust our way through this. You know, advance the alarm tracker by 1, which is sort of the same thing as losing a turn, and we're making it take us 2 turns to get in. So like, seems about the same trade-off wise. But there could be some other dangers up this way that I would be charging straight into if I went through here. I'm not so thrilled about that. Plus, this going the long way only costs Tony a turn. Going the short way raises the alarm level, effectively costing both Tony and Decker a turn. So I think I'd rather go the long way. I'm still not sure about Decker. Like, the aggressive thing to do is move in here. Because there probably isn't a guard who patrols here, but there might be. And if we're standing here and a guard does appear in this door, he'll see Decker and go on Overwatch. We can escape that guard by moving down to this square. But then this guard will hear the commotion and he'll come in and like, I don't know that Decker's moves are so priceless. Ooh, there's a guard up there I didn't see. I don't know that his moves are so priceless that we want to spend 2 of them on... take such a big risk just to save 2 moves for Decker, you know? Let's see, level 2 is firewalls. Alright. So before the alarm level gets to 2, we want to try to have hacked as many things as we can. Is Decker on ambush? Yes. Does the thing down here light up differently? It does. It gets a little action star thing around it. Huh. Well, maybe I'll remember this time. Also, like, the agents animate differently when they're on ambush, but I forget, like, is this really him on ambush? It's hard to tell sometimes, so I just hit M twice to check. Okay, well, I guess here we go. Whoa, that guard who was up here, he just came down to, like, here. So I'm actually not at all sure that sneaking in is gonna work well. Turns out there was a guard who comes into this room, and he would have spotted Decker. So I'm glad we didn't take that risk.
What the?
I don't mind letting him notice me here. We're just walking in his sort of light red area. It's like his peripheral vision, basically. He's going to be like, oh, what was that all about? And come look at this square. But he won't get all super crazy mad about it. So we can just basically ignore him. We could even come to, say, here? Here? Yeah, here's good. He'll investigate the last square that we move over, that he can see, which will be this one. So he'll just walk up 2 squares and then look left, look right. Huh, nothing there. And we'll be standing here and he won't notice us. We could also come up to here. I actually wouldn't mind changing the guard patrols now that I think about it, because these guys are sort of making life difficult for Dr. Shu. I'm going to go ahead and open this door. I believe this guard who was up here is now staring at this door. I'm going to open this door to check that hypothesis. Yeah. So obviously that's not great. Well, let's peek, see what's going on in here. So if we wanted to, we could have, like, ducked through here quickly-ish. What's this guy doing? Yeah, he's just going to investigate the square he's standing on, staring at the wall. So... we could come back in here. Next turn, KO the guard who's going to be standing right here. And then come in here. If we do that, though, this other guard is going to patrol back over that square and notice him and get alerted. So that'll be quite a few alert guards. I'm not very happy with that plan. We could just slow things down by hiding in here. But we're not really making any progress on getting into this area if we do that. Maybe what I'll do is duck back in here with Tony and have Decker pick up the objective for this mission, which is the site list in here. This will have the effect. This one mission, for if you do an executive terminal mission, and the first one is always an executive terminal mission, when you pick up the objective, all of the guards change their patrol paths. Now, this excludes guards who are currently investigating a square. So this guy will still investigate here. This guy will still investigate here. This guy's hunting. He doesn't have a patrol path anymore. But it'll mean that this guy changes his patrol path and will probably, therefore, stop coming back this way. And then we can knock this guy out and get to work. So, I don't know. It's a little bit risky in case, like, a guard comes in through here, but I don't... There should be, at most, 5 guards on this mission, I think, and maybe only 4. So we should be pretty much okay.
Investigating area. Guess it was nothing.
Investigating down there? Oh, I guess that's the new patrol path for the guy who was up there, huh? Alright. So Tony's opening the door. I don't think anyone's looking at him, but I really don't want to be wrong about that, so I'm going to grab this camera. Yeah, this guy is indeed just standing here. And right now, Tony's movement points are sort of at a premium. And Decker's are not, so I'm going to use Decker to check out where all the guards are going, the ones he can see anyway. So this guy should be patrolling actually back into here. He didn't get the message about changing patrol paths, but this guy's pretty important. He's going there, huh? And this guy should be coming back up here. But we do need to know what this guy's new path is. Is he going to be coming in here? No, he's going to be going down to where Decker is. Okay. So we could knock this guy out, and the only one who would ever find out is the guard who's already hunting. Probably. I think that's a good use of our time. We want to get in here in a hurry. Oh, I forgot. He's, This is a mistake I've made so many times. I'm not going to make it now, but I probably will make it later in this series. Tony has an ability, disable, and he basically has like an EMP. He can disable an electronic device for 1 turn, if he's adjacent to it. And so you can disable the guard's heart monitor, so that when you knock them out, they don't raise the alarm level. Nice, right? But it takes up his attack, and that's what I always forget. I like zap him with the disable so that I can knock him out, and then it's like, you can't knock him out, you already attacked this turn. So I'm not going to make that mistake this turn. Instead, I'm just going to knock him out the normal way. Grab his money. And I could leave him right here, but then when this guard comes back into the room, he would spot the body. So I will drag just a little bit to right there. And actually, I was going to go ahead and move, but since I've only got 1 AP, I'll stay here to pin him, keep him down for just a little bit longer. Okay, so now Decker, confirm for me what this guy is up to. He's going back here. Yes, very good. Peek in case of cameras? No cameras. Oh, but I can't actually get to a safe space from here, huh? Alright, well, it turns out there was a camera, so glad I checked. So, where exactly is the best place to hide? Here and here are both fine. Neither one is better than the others. I kind of wish Tony could get over here to EMP down these safes, so we wouldn't have to spend power on them, but, you know, that's life, I guess. We'll just come down here instead. Nothing left to spend either of their last action points on, so I guess we will just end the turn.
Investigating the area.
Yeah, so it might seem that he should have seen Tony, right? I mean, but we imagine that agents can press themselves up into an infinitely thin plane up against any other plane, and so this, he's up against this sort of, what is that? A filing cabinet. He's pressed himself up against the filing cabinet, and so this guard didn't see him. And fine, we want him to get in here. I could bring the body in as well. It slows the agents down a lot to do stuff like that in the early game, especially when they don't have a lot of strength. I think it's more important to know what this guy is doing. So Decker has nothing much to do, but unfortunately this camera can't quite see this guard, so Decker can't investigate what the guard's going to do next turn. Does this guard... Where exactly does he end his turn? I think he ends it up here, in one of, like, these squares? Yeah. So we can't actually... I made a mistake. I should have hidden behind here. Because this square is not a safe place to be next turn. I'll have to get a little bit further away from this door, which is my ultimate goal, in order to be safe. I think I'm going to go ahead and spend the 1 movement point to observe whether this guard is going to be a problem. And the answer is yes, he is. So we will go ahead and bring this guy's body in here with us. It's taking Tony forever to do his stuff, but that's sort of part of the early game. Everything takes ages. Oh, geez, and we're already up to... We're about to hit alarm level 2, huh? Jeez. I guess get this safe. We can maybe make do without hacking the camera using Decker's cloak. Although maybe not. Like, how many moves is it going to take to loot this room if we could start from here, which I don't think we actually can. It would be 1, 2.5, 3.5, 4, 5, 6.5. Well, call it 7 here, and then we'd have to get back out. We just can't go that fast. So we're going to need to spend more than 1 turn in here, which means we need the camera. So we might as well take it now. Okay. Oh, interesting. He patrols... He's patrolling down to there. Ah, he couldn't make it all the way back to his ordinary patrol path because he had to investigate Decker up at this this area here somewhere. Okay, so we do have a bit of extra time. One thing I could consider doing is stepping here to lure this guard closer. If I wanted to change like how these 2 guards are synced up to each other, I could make this guy waste a turn. But then I'd have to like end my turn here, and it would be quite slow going to get around him. I don't see any advantage, and I do see a disadvantage, so I won't do that. Yeah, okay, well, fair enough. I think that's all we can do this turn. The early game is rough.
Looking around.
Firewall's up. Yep, that's gonna be tough. Okay, just tell me you're not coming in this room, please. Of course he is. But he won't look at this square, so that's fine. We're just gonna have to make sure to avoid the square, this square, the one he's noticing right now. Go around the long way to finally get to this one safe. Tony's whole job. On the way out, we'll grab this shop, I guess. Man, it's so hard to... What? What is this guy doing here? Get out of here! Okay, well... I sort of thought he would have gone out last turn, and then I could head over here, but it looks like I can't. It would have been better, in fact, to lure him this way. Should have investigated him, I guess. I just thought for sure he wasn't going anywhere interesting. So we're going to have to get out of this area and come up, say, here, or I guess here is better. We'll stay here. Maybe I should start using the cloak. I don't know, man. Might as well go on... Oh, I was going to say might as well go on ambush, but there's nothing to... A, like, we don't expect anything to need to be attacked, and B, his weapon is still on cooldown, so it won't work. Ah, so here's a nice little thing. We can have Decker prevent this guy from going back into the room if we want. How much power is down here? 4, so that'll help quite a bit. Yeah, so let's use the EMP on the safe. Picked up a little bit of money. Yeah, he's about to spot the guard. That's too bad. Actually, it's fine, because that means he's going to go stand on the guard. He's going to investigate that square, and that'll pin him for me. And also stops him from standing here, where he's a problem. Makes him stand here instead, where he's no problem at all. So that's great. Please, investigate the guard. So I think what I'll have Decker do is drag this guy up here, and then head down into this room. That means it'll take him another... He'll spend another turn up here before he comes down to investigate this room. So that maybe we'll have time to finish grabbing stuff. Maybe not, though. There's a lot of hacking still to do, and we don't have a lot of power. Yeah, thanks for pinning him.
Investigating area must be imagining things.
Mission 1 is always rough. Mission 2 isn't easy either, but after that it does start getting simpler. Let's see. On this turn, there were 2 guards in this room. One of them we've distracted and brought up here. He'll be entering here next turn. The other guard wasn't in here last turn, which means he was up here. Which means he is in this room this turn. So that means he's not up here, which means Tony, if he wanted to, could come out, say, here. But I want to try and hit the shop first. See what we can get. Torque injectors are pretty good. Accelerator chips are not bad either. Let's drop this pass card. We shouldn't need it anymore. And I mean, these are each reasonably good. So what torque injectors do is they decrease the cooldown on all of your items by 1. And the accelerator chip, you can use it at consoles to get 1 extra power out of them. I'm used to, as I said, playing with like Central, Brimstone, and Faust, so I have like more power than I could ever need, and I don't bother with accelerator chips, but they could be useful in a game with these agents. There's another Neural Disruptor, but obviously we don't need that. We've knocked out way more guards this mission than I usually like to, simply because we don't have Anarchy to steal from them instead. Well, I guess the second guard we knocked out wasn't so we could steal from him. It was because he was in the way. I don't know how much to value either of these. I think I'll leave them and spend the money on agent upgrades instead. We could knock this guy out, but I don't want to. Well, here's an interesting idea. Oh, well, so what I was thinking was disable him and then use a shock trap to knock him out. A problem with that is that I don't know exactly where this guy the other guard in here walks to. If he's going to have vision on anything relevant. He should have vision on this door, anyway. Which is kind of a problem. Yeah, which means if I shut that door, he would go investigate it, and maybe he would get knocked out instead of the other guard. I'm not very happy with that. We could investigate what this guard is going to do. Or we could KO him and drag him on top of this other guard, sort of getting a double pin. Cost us another alert level, I think. But it does give Tony something more useful to do. And I think we do need to buy some time for all the hacking that Decker needs to do. Oh, speaking of, let's grab this at least. And then we can grab this. Get a little bit more money. It's going to be quite a while before we can take this thing, so we might actually just not get it. I don't know. Yeah, I think we knock this guy out. And pin him on top of the other guard. I'm not very happy with it, but, you know, that's life. Yeah, I can't peek because, well, for two reasons. One, you're carrying a guard, and two, well, I guess they're both... Never mind. Okay, so that's that. We're down to 0 power. Not very comfortable, but we have all of the alert guards pinned, so they won't be causing any huge problems. Yeah. I don't think we can really comfortably leave Decker in here for 6 turns just to crack this thing. Maybe actually the thing to do... I was sure this guy would be in the other room. That's awkward. That's awkward indeed. Oh, I meant to turn off rewinds. Oh well. I also don't particularly mind playing with rewinds on, to be honest, with one rewind. I think of it as sort of like hit points in a traditional roguelike. Oh dear. At least this guy hasn't heard the news. I don't know if he'll shoot me if I drop the body. Because what I kind of want to do is close the door, shock trap the door, and then move back over here to start pinning this guy. I think actually... Yeah, the enemy will react to me closing the door. Oh, will they react to me dropping the security guard? No. Alright. So, part of the reason I'm a little bit less sure about this is because I have a mod installed that, just as a UI convenience, lets you close doors while carrying guards. Normally you're not allowed to do that. And it just implements that by making you drop the guard, then close the door, then pick the guard back up. And I don't think that it's... There used to be a bug where it let you do a few things you weren't allowed to by like letting you drop guards in situations where you're not allowed to. I think they fixed that. And I didn't want to like gain advantage from that by closing this door when I shouldn't be able to. But it looks like I can drop the guard and it says they won't react to that, so I'll do that. Then I can shut the door. Shock trap the door. And pick this guard back up. And we now have the problem of this guard as well, right? he's going to notice us. There's not a lot I can do about that. So I'm just going to drag this guard here to keep him pinned. And then next turn, I'll run up here to get back out of this guy's line of sight. And in fact, maybe if we're very, very lucky, he won't see us because there's tall cover in the way. I don't know. So we also maybe could conscript Decker to come help somehow. But I don't actually know how he's going to help. Jeez. But I don't think we have 5 turns to spare waiting for this. We just gotta go. Alright. Let's see if we can make... Let's see if we can somehow survive. Yeah, so he did see us.
Taking out this door.
Okay. It's getting exciting in here. So Tony comes up here.
Damn it, they got away.
Drops the body. And where exactly is this guy gonna go? He wants to investigate the square Tony is currently on, right? So what exactly is he doing? Is he like... Is he gonna notice if I walk here? Like, he'll notice, but I don't think he'll actually be able to turn around and shoot me. He lost track of me, and so it's gonna cost him an extra turn. He can't shoot this turn unless I walk into a square he's watching. So I think we can just go. Yes. And look, we got to loot another guard. Incredible. What value? Oh, the door is busted. Sure. Alright, well, time to go. It's a shame we had to leave that safe behind, and we may have to leave behind another at some point. On the plus side, we're grabbing some power, so maybe somehow, someday, if things really improve, we could send Decker back, but I don't think that's going to happen. Guards over here are about to start waking up. We're going to need to just get out of here real soon. Meanwhile, this guy's going to go 1, 2... I suppose he goes this way. 5, 6.5, 7.5, so he only gets to here. That's fine. This guard won't wake up, but this one will, but we'll be out of here by then, by the time he's a problem, I think.
Guard down. Oh, what happened?
Okay, so he's going to investigate over there. What about this guy? When he wakes up, he'll be looking this way. So I don't think we're really in danger of anyone spotting us in this room next turn, as long as we're close to this wall. Now we could sprint to get into this room. I think what I'll do is I'll have Decker come down here without sprinting, so that we have the option of not attracting anyone's attention via sprint. And then if it turns out to be clear, as it has, then Tony can sprint to get in. Seems like an okay plan to me. To, like, say here. It's a power supply, but we don't really care. How many of the safes have we gotten? 1, 2, and then 1 we missed. So that's 3. There are a total of 5 on every level. So there are still 2 safes left to get. Hopefully Tony can be useful on that.
Investigating.
We're going to have to do it somewhat quickly so that the guards don't wander into the area we're in, but I think we ought to be okay. The extra guard spawns are real far away, so they're not going to be a huge problem. Here's the exit. There's a camera, but nothing else. Fine. That means all the safes are in here. I should maybe be sprinting, actually. Decker, will you go check this out so Tony doesn't have to spend his move points? Yeah, the 2 safes are nice and easy to get. We'll just come in here. Grab this one. We'll give them back their security card and take a Buster chip. Now, the main concern is that they might start coming into this room. I don't like that idea very much. So I will ready Decker with another KO if we need it. And that should do. But they don't have any particular reason to suspect that we're in this area yet. Yeah, no one's even looking over here. Let me just double check that there's no one around the corner. Yeah, they're all quite far away. This guy is going to just observe the square he's on. This guy's, I don't know, going northwest, I guess. Yeah, cool. So nothing much going on. We can afford to sprint. Okay, so overall, we missed one safe, which is a shame. But we got a lot more guard credits than I was really expecting to get from all the guards we had to KO. We missed, I think, 2 of them? 1? We missed 1 guard and 1 safe. Considering that we didn't start with Anarchy, I'd say that's pretty reasonable. And we left with enough money to upgrade our agents to pick up like a little speed in Anarchy, I think. Okay, let's end this mission.
That contact list will prove invaluable when planning our next move. Excellent work.
Oh, I guess we must have missed 2 guards, huh? Because there are 2 of them who were... Oh, no. Right. The last guard... One guard that we didn't get was the one in the southwest guarding the safe we didn't get. The other one... Which, by the way, that one, it turns out we did have enough time. We could have left Decker down there and grabbed the safe and then gotten out. But I thought we might need Decker to help Tony out, so we didn't risk it. And the other one is one of the guards who spawned in as a result of getting to alarm level 4. He was just never concerned. Cool, and we picked up a program which we can use when we get Anarchy, which will cost us a bit, but not a ton. All right, so we made it through the first mission. That's I think honestly one of the hardest ones in an Invisible Ink playthrough. So I'm glad that we managed to do it. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.